Welcome to Story Time. Today we're going to be reading a book called Sunpainters, Eclipse of the Navajo Sun. This book is written and illustrated by artist Bahi Whitethorn Sr., who is Diné from the Navajo Nation. I look forward to reading this book with you all today. Now let's get ready for story time. Sunpainters, Eclipse of the Navajo Sun. Kii Leonard sat in his favorite juniper tree listening to an old radio. Eyes closed, he concentrated on the scratchy sounds coming through the beat-up old box his grandfather Pipa had given him. Suddenly, he heard Pipa calling him. Kii Leonard, could you please come down out of that tree? Quickly now. Pippa, what's wrong? Kii Leonard called back, hanging the radio on a curled branch and jumping down. Pipa said, could you please come into the hogan? Kii Leonard hurried to the hogan. He had been playing all morning. Lunch, he thought as he ran through the hogan door. Pippa said, slow down, my grandchild. One shouldn't run in the hogan. I'm hungry. Pippa, is it lunchtime? What are we having? It is not time to eat, Pippa replied calmly. Trying to ignore his growling stomach and the blue cornmeal bread sitting on the table, Kii Leonard walked over to his grandfather and touched his hand. Then what is it, Pipa? He said. What's wrong? Have you noticed anything different, my grandchild? No, Kii said, thinking of his stomach. Listen to me, Kii Leonard. There is something wrong with the sun. The sun has died today. Kii glanced out the hogan door. Notice, Pippa said, taking Kii's hand and walking to the door, that it is dark outside, but don't look at the sun. Notice the deep purples and reds all around the mountainside? He waved his arm down toward the sheep corrals and across the wash to the next hillside. Kii Leonard saw a strange gloom all around him. Everywhere he looked, the deep purple and red darkness was there. Pippa said, now that you have seen it, let me tell you a story. Come, sit with me and listen. But Kii was excited. He had almost forgotten his hunger. What's wrong? He said. Why has the sun died? Why is there darkness outside? He watched his grandfather sit down slowly. Come, Pippa said. Kii climbed into his grandfather's lap, feeling Pippa's warmth all around him. I'm thirsty, Pippa, Kii said. My grandchild, Pippa said, when this happens to the sun, one does not sleep or lay down, one does not eat any food, one does not drink any water. You wait until it's over. You sit up and you wait. How long will this go on? Kii asked. The hunger was clawing at his belly again. You have to be patient, Kii Leonard. Give it time. Kii snuggled in closer to his grandfather, thinking maybe Pippa's warmth would fill him up. I'll tell you a story, Pippa said, about the children of Mother Earth. They are known as Na'acha'e, painters, the children that paint. We human beings believe that the colors of the rainbow bring us happiness and good health. So when the colors change within the four sacred mountains, the Na'acha'e come. They come from the four directions, each carrying a little paintbrush and a bucket of paint. Each painter is responsible for a color of the rainbow. Kii glanced out the hogan door. A shadow, darker than the almost night sky, moved down by the sheep corrals. The painters, he thought, as Pippa went on. At a time like this, Pippa said, the painters come together to repaint or add new colors, new life to the world. Now these children live in the four directions, in the east, in the south, in the west, in the north. A long, long time ago, there was joy and happiness within the four mountains. One day, everything turned red and purple and dark, and sadness came to the valley. Mother Earth called out to her children, "My children from the east, my children from the south, my children from the west and the north, come and renew the sun. The human beings are afraid. Come bring your brushes and your little ladders, and anywhere there is a dull color, give it back the colors of the rainbow." So from the four directions came the colors of the rainbow. Little children coming from the east, from the south, from the west, from the north, bringing with them their little paintbrushes, their buckets of paint, and their colors: yellow, orange, red, purple, green, and blue. Some went to the sun, some went to the moon, some went to the stars, others went to the mountains, the hills, the plains, the rivers, and canyons. Still others went to all the different flowers and trees, rocks and bushes. These little children worked hard with their brushes, repainting the world and giving it back its rich, bright colors. Now that the sun has died again, the Naachahe will be coming to repaint the earth. But first, I must go and say my prayers to the four directions: to the east, to the south, to the west, and to the north. I will say my blessings, and then the sun will be reborn. Can I go with you, Pippa? I am learning how to pray. Kii Leonard said. He wanted to see the little people, the painters. He had forgotten about his stomach. No, my grandchild, you must sit and wait. Go to your favorite chair, be patient, and the sun will be reborn. And remember, if you are hungry, you don't eat, you wait. If you are thirsty, you sit and you wait. Don't lay down or sleep until this is over. That is how we show respect for Mother Earth and how she takes care of us. The sun will be reborn. These little children I have told you about are going to come. Key climbed into the blue chair as his grandfather walked to the doorway. The red darkness came through the Hogan door, and Key Leonard leaned toward Pippa to see if any of the painters were at work nearby. He thought they might be out painting his juniper tree and his radio, but from where he sat he could see nothing but the strange light. Pippa's shape filled the doorway, darkening the Hogan further. "Now you sit and wait, my grandchild," Pippa said. "I will say my prayers and be back shortly." So Key Leonard sat there in his blue chair and waited and waited. Straining to see out the door, he pictured the little children from the four directions working with their little paintbrushes to recolor the world. In his mind, he saw them flying around among the rocks and sagebrush and down to the big river that cut through the land, and back to the walls of the Hogan, and up to the once blue sky. But after a while, what he saw was the blue cornmeal bread and the bucket of water on the table, and then he could think of nothing but food and water. Finally, Pippa came back saying, "My grandchild, they have come. They have repainted the sun. They have repainted the moon, the sky, the universe, the four mountains in the four directions, the canyons, the rivers, the trees, and the grass. Everything around us has been repainted. Now we are happy again." Key Leonard jumped out of his chair, and even before going to the table for a mouthful of cornbread, he ran to the door to see the repainted world and the reborn sun. What Pippa had told him was true. He saw all the colors of the rainbow: blue sky, green trees, purple flowers, red rocks, orange earth, and a yellow sun. Outside the Hogan, Key faced east. "Thank you, Naachahe, for your colors," he said. He turned to the south and raised his arms above his head. "Thank you, Naachahe, for your colors." He faced west and repeated this prayer of thanks, and then turned to the north and did the same. When he saw his grandfather watching him, he said, "And thank you, Pippa, for telling me of these little people, the painters, the children from the four directions and the colors they bring. I see that it is a blessing that we have these little painters. I will remember this always." Pippa smiled at Key Leonard. warming him like the sun above, and said, "Come in and eat now, my grandson. You must be very hungry." Kii followed Pippa inside, saying, "I am hungry, Pippa, but I must do something first." He grabbed some paper and crayons and placed them on the table beside the cornbread. He wanted to draw the story of how the sun had died, and so he drew a circle as big as the paper. Carefully choosing his crayons, he colored the circle in. "For you, Pippa," Kii said, handing the paper to his grandfather, the Navajo Sun. And then Kii Leonard took a huge bite of blue cornmeal bread. The end. Thank you so much for reading Sunpainters, Eclipse of the Navajo Sun with me. I look forward to reading you more stories, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a beautiful day.